Everyone, hello. We are here at you with our 7th episode, leading into the holiday weekend. A lot to go over. What's the first that we want to cover?
Did you guys see Demi Lovato singing to ghosts?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
You showed me it. I just can't take it. I can't.
You know,
What's the point?
It was
therapy.
Yeah,
Afterlife
it
therapy.
was trying to get a ghost that they were covering in one of the many ghost. I actually don't know the name of that specific ghost show, but they were trying to get this ghost to talk, and then I guess it wouldn't, and then two of the male co-hosts left, and then Demi Lovato, who is not usually a guest or a host, right, was there, guest hosting it, and I guess the ghost felt comfortable, especially after she offered a peace offering of lovely vocal singing.
All right.
And
okay,
then,
lovely vocal singing.
yeah, because that's the only good type there is for ghosts. Well, that's the only good type.
There's a lot of singers in the afterlife. I'd assume there's you'd rather listen to Aretha Franklin or something like that.
Totally.
Yeah, but Demi Lovato was the one, and so she brought a lot of.
She's stuck here, so she can't hear Aretha.
Yeah, she brought a lot of joy and connectivity between the different worlds. And what song did she sing? Was it one of hers?
Yeah, Skyscraper, I think.
Skyscraper. Yeah.
You know this song? Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, because she sings it, and that's the lyric in the song.
You're a skyscraper. I'm a skyscraper too.
Kind of. More metaphorical, though, with a little bit more meaning. That sounded like a Coldplay song. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it did.
Coldplay is saying that they're going to call it quits in 2025. They're going to. That's
not
it
not
for
not.
them.
I would expect have some sort of play with Coldplay, and maybe they do a more cold turkey kind of a stoppage to the happenings. But alas,
See what you did there?
a couple years is definitely not cold or of any sort of poultry nature. So.
Poultry.
We missed the opportunity there, Brett.
Poultry in motion.
Yeah, but maybe this is for the better, because then they get to squeeze in a couple last minute tours, get that nice big extra bucks.
Yeah, I mean they didn't rule out. They said something about being a Beatles kind of thing. Chris Martin made a comment about we'll probably tour and probably do things again, but they're calling it after that 12 albums, I think they said, or something like that, and that's the.
I wonder why 12, just one for each.
I don't know, but to be crass, there was a great. Do you remember Triumph, the insult comic dog?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a line in one of his diss tracks, which was a Coldplay. Maybe you should be cold sore. Back when you were U2, I liked you so much more.
Well.
Damn.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really funny if there were. I mean, there's no sharing. The band members aren't shared between those two groups, are they?
They share sound.
They should, okay. I was like, maybe there's something that I'm missing. I think it's a dig towards the sounds, and okay, cool.
Both of them, because they both kind of sound similar. They have a homogenous kind of mix.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, that won't stop people from enjoying them and from them making a shit ton of money. So
right.
I tip my beanie to them, but
good on them.
Yeah, definitely never been my my cup of tea.
No.
Yeah,
but they're successful, so I mean that's why they have a couple of good songs,
I mean, it's just because we don't like them, that doesn't mean they're not talented.
No, of course,
it doesn't discredit them at all. No.
Yeah. No.
But more power to them.
More power to them, and maybe, but have they sung to ghosts? That
I don't know.
Demi still very likely will have that on them.
Maybe
leading
they could
into
do that the next
2020.
Super Bowl. They could have Demi and Coldplay on the center stage singing to ghosts
and the patrons.
Well, speaking of ghosts. Did you see the Doctor Strange trailer?
Yeah.
I did.
No, I didn't.
Multiverse of Madness.
Looks interesting.
Stuff, unfortunately.
Trippy as fuck.
How was it? Was it?
It's called YouTube, George.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
Come on.
Yeah, I feel like an old timer sometimes, not keeping up with all the goods. But yeah, so no, what was it about? How was it like? What was the what was revealed?
I don't know. Is it the same? Sorry,
it looks like Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. Yeah. They're just teasing that there's repercussions for all the meddling with the reality that they've been doing in the last couple of movies. So it's kind of cool to see them addressing that, because that is a kind of a loophole that you go, okay, well, you've done all these things in these movies where you go back in time and you do all these things where you alter reality, and it seems like they're going to address some of the consequences of that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I definitely still have a lot of catching up to.
Same.
It just adds to the potentially never-ending list of Marvel shit that I have to keep up with.
Right.
I mean, because we were also talking about Hawkeye too last week.
Yeah,
right,
Hawkeye. Yeah.
Is there any new developments with that?
Is there gonna be a new movie? There's gonna be a Hawkeye movie, right?
I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a season of the show.
And that's the one with Jeremy Renner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so he'll probably be Hawkeye in. Like, is there gonna be a new Avengers or something? Like, I keep seeing these like headlines of Shang-Chi, the Avengers.
They're teasing stuff, you know. Obviously, it's gonna have to move on.
Yeah.
Marvel needs to make a new season of Daredevil.
See, there you go. There's a hot take.
Oh, that was a thing that. Never mind. I don't want to spoil it.
What's the scoop?
Did
yeah, give us the scoop.
No, I didn't spoil anything.
Ben Affleck is back with J-Lo. That's the spoiler. Daredevil, everybody.
Yeah. That really dope Daredevil series was on Netflix though, right? I mean, so
yeah, it just ended abruptly after 3 seasons. I really wish they continued that.
Yeah, I remember that, and then also the Punisher series, also on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Not real solid bangers, and I guess before the Disney acquisition, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I guess
times are changing.
Rest in peace. Now the mouse has to make sure that it's all their creative, their IP. I'm sure, right? And don't want to mess with any of that stuff. But there's really a gold mine of stuff, there. So kind of a missed opportunity. And like you said, for those of us that were watching it, it would be cool. But again, so much other stuff to catch up on. I guess it'll be like it hurts now and it'll be forgotten eventually.
Get it out. Tis the season to binge watch.
Yeah, just this season to binge watch and do things in excess and eat and hopefully get nice times with families. But who won't be seeing potentially a nice time with their family, right? Kramer, I think that you were talking about this incident with the truck driver, right?
The
incident regarding.
He So there's like, just to have a little bit of quick background, like it was like there's this like corridor in Colorado that's like up or down this like really steep like
I-70
mountain
Interstate
way.
70, yep.
And it's like. And I guess like he was going down the hill and he was like gaining speed and then his brakes didn't work and like they went out. And instead of being able to go up the ramp, he like crashed into 4 people and killed them. But like he's getting like a way too harsh a sentence, it seems like 110 years for like for something that seems like was an accident and wasn't 100% his fault, like the brakes failed. So they could test that if they failed or not, right?
Right. And so, they found him guilty on 27 counts, and they have mandatory minimum sentencing in Colorado, which means that they have to sentence him to a certain amount of time for the counts that were given. So even the judge was like, my hands are tied with this right now. And
so I'm guessing that the time isn't concurrent. It's all sequential, I guess, one after another kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they gave it to him one after another.
That's rough. And this is really big because it feels kind of over exaggeration based on what we understand are the truths of the matter, right? The what's panned out and stuff. And I guess, but aren't there some sort of mobilization regarding like trucker unions or different organizations sort of speaking out?
Well, a lot of people are speaking out, but most of the movement's been on like with online petition.
Yeah, online petition. Change.org.
Change.org. It was like 4.6 million people, I think. Over 4.6 million people signed.
Yeah, there are a lot of truckers boycotting.
But that's on an individual basis, not so much a more organized, like again, unionized approach.
I'm sure some of them are part of the union, but maybe even some just independently.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, that's nice. I think that it speaks to the proximity of the matter to these different people and for people in general. That I mean, always feels good when we see justice take place, right? And that there are reasonable consequences and recourses based on what happened and what we understand was at play with what led to these situations. So definitely doesn't seem very just.
No, and the governor, Jared Polis, I think is his name, sounds pretty open to granting some form of clemency, and if it goes to court and it gets reviewed, so the district attorney, I think, is calling for it to be reviewed and to get readjusted. So we'll see how that goes.
They do want to do the right thing, so it seems like that's all right. Like, I mean, obviously it's wrong what he did, but it's still
accidents
like
happen.
You gotta cut people break sometimes. It's like, I don't even know, probably was his first offense, and he said he wasn't really even like trained properly, supposedly, or something, and that's on the trucking company.
Right.
Talking about trained properly, right? We hear Kim Potter being found guilty of both charges, first and second degree manslaughter.
Yeah.
And to me, I just thought of it because, right, her her angle, her stance was that I mistook my gun for my taser. And I mean, talk about. How does that make it better?
I'd venture to say there's going to be a hell of a lot less cops mistaking their taser for guns after this one. I don't know how that happens, but and they were trying to get
be on opposite sides. Or
she was trying to get leniency there at the end. They wanted to like let her out on bail so she could go home. There's like she's a devout Catholic and she wants to go home with her family to celebrate Christmas. And the judge was like, "Sorry, I'm not going to grant any special treatment. And treating you exactly how I would treat anybody else in this case. You're going away, no bail. Sentencing, I think, is in February."
Yeah, wow. I mean, I feel bad for the woman as much as I can, but honestly, she deserves what she got, and she should have been more responsible, and she needs to be held accountable.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, that was the whole, I think the prosecution, their whole shtick was that accidents can still be crimes, was one of the quotes that they put out
because
there,
I think that she was a sort of a reputable, recognized LEO, right? I mean, so that this wasn't some as a result of like a string of like a consistent behavior that's like, well, we saw this coming, for a while. It really was a one-off thing, but one-off things, it can still be crimes. So
just one incident can change your whole life.
Yeah, it's crazy like that. I mean, and yet we still have to live life, so it's always calculated risks.
And that's how you end up with Rittenhouse getting a standing O at the Turning Point USA Festival, America Fest.
In Arizona, right?
Yeah, amazing.
Makes sense.
Absolutely amazing.
I mean, you thought the guy would have like saved like a couple fucking kittens or been part of like a child's last a wish from a Make-A-Wish Foundation sort of thing, but nope, he just showed up after having been acquitted of his recent court hearing, and I don't know, definitely is a model citizen now as a result of for deciding to take organize everything so that he could end up grabbing a hold of an AR-15 like rifle and using it in Kenosha, right? That's that's a weird world to think about that we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the bar must really be fucking low for these people. I mean, because I think about remember that couple, the lawyers, right? That supposedly people that were part of like a BLM protest in their neighborhood, like they started like brandishing their weapons, having pretty bad trigger discipline, right? And then they were speakers at a recent event after that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they were at home, I think.
Yeah, no, they were at home. Sorry, did I say something else?
Like standing their ground or whatever. All the protesters were outside.
Just walking by, just walking by the property. Yeah.
God, it triggered people. It's amazing, and the kind of people who shouldn't have guns.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yeah,
not a good word for that.
Yeah, so it's a really low bar. I mean,
a lot of double standards.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of double standards, a lot of inconsistencies. I mean,
truly.
You see it with all of them. I mean, even at the top, right? A lot of inconsistencies from some of their most beloved, and that's been funny to watch too, right? A big one I think of is with Trump. I don't know if we want to go there, but it's always good territory, I think.
No.
No. Okay, fine. You guys
so, did you guys see Mr. Zuckerberg got the New Republic voted him Scoundrel of the Year, and his company won.
He's a scoundrel.
Yeah, Yahoo Finance made Facebook the worst company of the year.
Well, good thing
I
they
don't know
exist
how they
anymore.
are, because like they did all the political shit. I agree, that's the worst. But like they have contributed a lot to the metaverse and crypto. So like, and that's really pumping right now. So it's like, how can it be the worst when it's doing that? Right. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to hold it in your head and go, okay, well, there's two different sides. But I don't think that the stuff that they've been doing with people's personal information is
that's not right.
Justifiable in any way.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And their influence is clear on our politics, and that's what's scary.
Oh yeah,
because it's not just Facebook; it's Instagram and all the other companies that they own.
Yeah.
All these companies, they don't want to self-censor. They want the government to come in and give big broad brushstrokes to all the companies to follow, like guidelines and rules to follow, which is like also a slippery slope, because when you have government dictating what these private companies can do, it's gonna basically create limitations.
Right. Well, you have to have a certain type of regulation that doesn't discourage creativity, and I think they know that. It's just there's got to be a difference between the laissez-faire attitude is a little bit too much in the other direction, where they're just like no holds barred, don't touch us. I don't think that works either. But
part of late market capitalism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's part. Capitalism is what we have to work with. So you have to work in the confines of what you got. Crypto fits into that confine, and
yeah, but not in the way that the biggest dogs appreciate. So
sure,
you don't. Yeah.
Are you kidding? You have people who are losing millions of dollars.
Yeah,
that's
getting
a good swindled point. By people
but,
who are
but
taking advantage of people just like banks do.
That's a great point. But I guess what I was trying to say is that there's still a propensity for that power dynamic to sort of shift over time ultimately, and maybe that's why.
But you have to have an organization of things that are on your side to advocate for you, and that's what good government usually is for. Bad government is just bureaucracy. Good government makes efficient use of that bureaucracy.
Very selfless, selfless.
Well, back to the Kim Potter thing real quick. I'm glad to see that justice was served for Daunte Wright and his family.
Yeah. Well, at least we got that. I mean, but of course it could be better. But I think there's something I've learned with this year and the year prior, and is that we got to take the little victories, the little victories. It goes a long way, or else we're just like never satisfied, and that's that doesn't feel good either.
Yeah, this goes a long way. I mean, after the verdict in the Ahmaud Arbery case, and this is the other things that Derek Chauvin, these things are going a long way to right a lot of the wrongs that have been going on, when it comes to holding cops accountable for their misbehavior and their misconduct.
Yeah.
While they're wearing the badge.
Not just moving them to a new department.
Right.
You mean like the Catholic Church did with priests?
Pretty much,
yeah. Rust and pepperonis, man. Yeah. Oh, well.
So the student loans.
Yeah. Talking about small victories. I mean, sure, it still hasn't been, totally been eradicated. I don't know what the term is, expunged or cleared, whatever it is. But at least for the time being, it's like. Now, originally, interest rates for the loans were going to go back in January. Right now, they're till May. Mm-hmm. So I definitely benefit from that. I'm very grateful for that. It would still be nice to see happen what Biden sort of was one of the campaign promises, I think, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken.
One of his campaign promises.
One of his
wants. He wasn't promised.
He never promised.
But that he would aim for it.
And one of the best arguments that he made was, that's not my job, that's Congress's job.
Yeah.
They control the money in this country, and if people want this to happen, they need to talk to their congressman, because the power of money and the power of passing laws is in Congress's hands. So that was a lot of his argument, was just, that's not my job. Get Congress to do it, and then I'll sign the bill.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it kind of just reveals like a bigger sort of issue that is like a general, even on my behalf, and I do consider myself someone who often enough tries to take time to learn more about like my government and policy and this and that, but yeah, it takes a lot of effort to understand who's sort of responsible for what. I mean, all the time I hear people talking about, the gas price is higher, Biden's success, and it's like, is that it's not, that isn't really a thing, I think, on a similar.
No, well, I mean,
and on a similar token,
and he
right?
freed up the reserves to alleviate some of that, But yeah, that has to do with supply chain stuff. That has to do with oil that we're importing, and the other countries that we work with in importing it.
Yeah, wasn't it during Obama's presidency that we were, most of our supply was coming domestically?
Well, I think he shifted a lot of the supply.
A lot of it, and then did that trend continue during Trump or?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I know that they
a lot of stuff to keep up with.
Yeah, I know that they tried to make an effort in upping our reserves at home, so that when this kind of stuff happens, it can be freed up. So,
supply chain issues, man.
Yeah,
been a thing since COVID really, and I think it just reveals sort of the shortcomings of like just what's it called, like just manufacturing, right? Or it's just in time manufacturing, I believe is the idea of what it's called. That pretty much that these different plants don't really have a lot of like inventory at hand, and that they pretty much have
shortages.
There's that their operations are so that they just have the quickest turnover of materials as possible, which then allows them to like use all that space for pretty much fulfilling orders that are guaranteed going to be filled out and whatever there's already a demand for it. This and that. Something of that nature. But anyways,
the price of goods like cars are at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Inflation is definitely an issue, but they're doing what they can to combat that. I mean, the economy is in an interesting spot right now because
the digital dollar is going to happen this next year. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen.
Digital dollar.
Yeah,
2022.
Spec. You heard it here first.
Yeah. What is that? What is spec? Sorry.
Speculation.
Oh.
Speculation. You tell me you invest in.
I thought that was like
you don't know what spec is.
I thought it was like a what? Yeah, no. I thought it was like you know how like when you're looking at things to invest in, they have like an abbreviation of the. I thought it was like what spec?
Right.
Yeah. No.
It's like
no.
OPEC.
You don't know.
I'm a scrub. It's okay. I admit it fully, and I take.
You take responsibility.
Not
for it?
pride.
You accept it?
No, yeah, I accept responsibility. I don't take pride, but hey, I take pride in the ability to learn. So there we go. Spec. You heard it here first from the creamsicle.
So Trump's giving financial advice now. Apparently, did you see that?
Yeah. Very inconsistent. Like, that's what I was talking about with the inconsistencies all throughout all levels of that end of the political spectrum. Because Cream, as you were gonna say.
No, go ahead. The crypto.
Yeah, the crypto and NFTs. I mean, I think
his wife's making a freaking NFT, and he's like criticizing it. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, no, he was saying that she's doing
on the stupid Solana network.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Cream's favorite. No, but saying crypto is it's pretty much. I mean, paraphrasing that it's gonna crash. It's not gonna last. It's not.
Warren Buffett says stuff like that.
It could potentially destabilize like the the U.S. dollar and its validity, I guess, as a fiat currency. Whatever, yada yada. Right. And but Melania's NFT is great, and she's doing well for herself, and
so you should buy that.
You should buy that. I thought wasn't. I guess
you have to buy it with crypto only though. So.
Yeah,
no consistency whatsoever.
Good for the ecosystem. Yeah.
It's great.
The crypto
for the ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah, good for certain ecosystems, not all though. Yeah, but no, very inconsistent there, and same thing. A very interesting takes we see him towards COVID, right? That he was sort of like very happy that, well, first off, he was happy that Biden was giving him props for saying, hey, good job on Operation Warp Speed, essentially. And he was pretty much saying like, yeah, that's very appreciated. And yeah, I think he also wanted to say like, there's a lot of hurt that we get to process and work through. It's like, as if like him not being acknowledged like for the credit for him doing Operation Warp Speed is part of like the pain that the nation is suffering.
Right.
Is going through right now.
I swear to God, it's got to be a bit. Like, I mean, he's got to be playing a part, because to sit there, I mean, with a straight face, he corrected Candace Owens while she was shitting on the vaccine. He was like, no, the
vaccine's good.
Like, yes.
I did a great job, and you did, but it's more about the choice.
Yeah, we're living in Twilight Zone level,
It just doesn't make sense. Who cares? Like, it's like getting the flu shot. Like, you should get it if you could get it. Except it's more critical.
This is the thing that drives me nuts, is that very often, I think a point of contention that people feel pretty comfortable making as a logical argument is, well, this is such a new vaccine because COVID just, we barely are experiencing it.
What was also a new vaccine? The polio vaccine.
Yeah. No, I mean, and again, that's not to say that's again, this isn't even accounting for that the Pfizer and Moderna phase 3 clinical trials were some of the most, had the biggest sample pool sizing in any, sort of vaccine clinical trial history and yada yada. But this is the argument, is that, right? Hey, well, because it's so new, we don't know what the real long-term effects are. Before it was, hey, well, it only has emergency use authorization. Now that FDA gave it like the full authorization, now, goalposts shift, and it's like, well, we still don't know the long-term impacts. And for me, it's funny because, okay, let's give that position value and weight for a moment. Where then is the consistency in saying, and also we don't know the the extent of the long-term term impacts of the virus itself. Right. I don't see any concern for that. It's like, oh, well, I got it and I got over it and I'm good. And really, and that's all you need, doctor. Right.
And I have a feeling that a lot of people are bullshitting themselves about that, because long COVID's a real thing, and I know a lot of people who caught it that still have side effects with their taste.
Like some people can't like taste wine or like stuff like that.
Taste anything or smell anything.
Shortness of breath, right? This and that, and so I mean, it just again kind of just reveals some of the probably selective inconsistencies with it, and it definitely is frustrating. But I think for that reason, it's important to stay true to our ground and not give in to our frustrations, and
for sure,
just stoop to levels that maybe we would regret.
Right.
And after a day's time to
just
sit
be
through.
safe, for God's sake. I mean, look, we got testing. Biden just unveiled that they're going to be sending out for anybody who wants it free COVID tests.
Great.
500 million, I think, out to the whole country.
Was that in response to the question that was Jen Psaki was asked? Remember about or that she asked a reporter who, I forget the question, but it's like, what would you have us do? Like have a test for every citizen, and that they were like, yeah, pretty much. Right. Was it a response to that? Do you know something that happened?
I know it's already been in the works for a couple weeks now, so I don't know what they would be.
Yeah. So, hey, but you know what? Hey, if it happened as a result, at least they're willing to sort of back down on an original position and realize, hey, actually, we could do it, something like that. I mean, I'd like to kind of understand the chronology of how everything panned out, but interesting to point out. I think that's definitely good. The more tests, the better. Contrary to what Trump said back in the day, we have so many cases because we're testing so much.
Right. Yeah.
Stop testing.
Exactly. And maybe the cases will go down.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, that works, but that also is like...
It's a false sense of security. Yeah,
how do you not die skiing? Don't go skiing. Same thing.
Well, hey, you just take precautions. Like Fox is just canceling their New Year's Eve toast and roast is what they call it.
Oh, yeah.
Toast and roast. Yeah. They're canceling it out of an abundance of caution because of Omicron and the surge. So we won't have to listen to Fox bitch about their burnt Christmas tree. Nothing about the riot or the insurrection, but the fucking burnt Christmas tree is a tragedy to our nation.
That's on the top of their priority list.
How dare their Christmas tree have any sort of a signage of brown complexion on it? So
shit.
They got mad at the tan suit with Obama.
Always dreaming of a white Christmas over there, aren't they?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, but we are seeing cases rise with the continuing prevalence of Omicron, and though we are seeing that, people are still getting infected despite being vaccinated, even potentially boosted in some circumstances, and so the amount of breakthrough cases is greater, I believe, for Omicron than the previous variants.
I heard the CEO of Moderna saying that we might need new vaccines for the new variants.
Yeah. And then people get upset about conspiracy. Look, and it's like, I mean, but that's not the first time that a vaccine has that we've needed to take newer versions and renditions, pretty much, of an old vaccine, right?
Sure.
A la flu.
Right.
So that it's sort of like this weird thing. It's like, just because you're aware of it now doesn't mean that it's now some next level thing that you get to sort of. I mean, yeah, you could question its validity, but I mean, just know that there are things in place that are I think very reflective of what we know. And I don't know, when people like question science, it's like, if you question science, then like what metrics are you using to trust the sources that you do trust,
Right. Well, I mean, science by its nature is already questioning itself constantly.
Yeah.
So there's an honesty about itself in that it, sometimes they don't get it right, but that's when you see new, information, you change your hypothesis, you change the terms, that's what you do.
And I will say to that idea of like, well, like, there can be some gatekeeping within science, in the sense that, in order to get, let's say, a study, like get proper funding for a study or recognition to get, peer reviewed on whatever, a paper you're writing, this and that. It would involve, right, having some sort of involvement, recognition in the community. What does that involve? I mean, I would guesstimate some sort of educational established, having an educational background that sort of reflects that, and college is pricier than ever now, and this and that. So I mean, I could see that like the scientific community isn't like,
in some ways it's more affordable though.
Free from sure. But I guess, any man-made institution, I'm sure there's always room for growth and improvement.
Yes, of course.
Man, I mean, again, if you have such a perception of the sense of science, that I can only imagine how that same scrutiny would hold towards anything else. Is my thought.
With these people who are like so against the vaccine, I want to see like their attitude toward the pill, because if they get it and then they want to have the pill,
right?
Like
that's a great point. Yeah, so there's a new pill that
Pfizer, right?
Yeah,
Pfizer.
the FDA approved. Yeah. I believe it's a 3-pill treatment or something like that over the course of 5 days.
30 pills over 5 days.
Yeah.
6 pills a day.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 twice a day.
I've taken antivirotics before. They're no joke. You gotta like really. It's like you gotta eat with everyone, and it's like and it's like all day you're taking pills.
6 meals a day. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's usually all you can do when you're in the hospital anyway, so you might as well prevent yourself from going in there by eating everything, including ice cream.
Including ice cream, yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess. And so, what does that FDA authorization? Is it EUA again, or is it like a full?
I think it was an emergency authorization. I believe. Yeah.
Which is so funny. People who I feel like didn't, know much about the FDA prior. And hey, I'm not here to diss on anyone who's getting their feet wet with realms of life that they previously didn't get into. But I think that you have to ground yourself if you're like getting into learning about something for the first time. Then you should be willing to admit, like, hey, I don't know everything, and so I can't just say my first conclusion is correct, and I'm not going to challenge that.
Right, but then you can't say that you know everything.
Yeah.
There's always unforeseen dangers. Nobody knows everything.
Right.
Speaking of unforeseen dangers, this last Saturday at the LA Coliseum, there's the hip hop festival, Once Upon a Time in LA, with a lot of top artists like Snoop Dogg, The Game, and others playing. Unfortunately, there was a murder. Drakeo the rapper was stabbed backstage by about half a dozen men, and it was a total failure of security.
Another Live Nation event with
really
failure.
Second one in 2 months. Following Astroworld.
Fuckers.
So something's definitely going on, both with live concerts and in the hip hop world. Yeah,
I mean, I guess, unfortunately, I feel like that's, all so many areas of our life, gets impacted by like the violent nature of humans and tribalism, right? But definitely, I think, where a lot of hip hop, I would, from my understanding of it, its history is like, right, trying to really have unity and strength in like so many different things that maybe now, hey, is it sustainable? I think like toxic masculinity's involvement in the hip hop realm, right, and the rap world, it's like, I don't. It's
not
unfortunate.
All hip hop is.
Not all. But I mean, I want to say, I mean, from some of the stuff I remember growing up listening to Tupac, Bone Thugs, Biggie, Dog Pound, it was very.
You can't take for granted that Donald Trump was one of the most name-checked people in hip hop for 30-something years before he became president. Then all of a sudden he was not cool.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, there is a lot of gang affiliation in the hip hop world. I went to Once Upon a Time in the LBC in 2019, a couple months after Nipsey Hussle was murdered, and he was supposed to play at that event. So it just goes to show that there's a lot of progress to be made. Even Snoop Dogg was saying in a post that hip hop needs peace. Hip hop world needs to have peace.
Yeah, especially these days. I mean, it's like we need to come together, and especially at this time of year, it sucks that there's another person, who's going to be absent from their family.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's just, it's a very sobering remander. And hey, tomorrow is never promised. So why, in my opinion, because of that, I do my best to create joy in my own life and the life of those around me. And it's tough. It's tough work, but it's worthwhile work. So
right.
Yeah,
there's a joyous occasion, I guess, and this comes back to our wonderful advancements with science. We're going to be launching a new satellite on Christmas Day.
Is it
nice?
It's NASA?
Yeah, NASA's going to be launching. It's the James Webb satellite, I think.
Oh, nice. And it's
it's
deep penetrating
telescope. Yeah,
telescope. Nice.
It's 100 times more powerful than the Hubble, and it's supposed to be in orbit around the sun at some point, and then it'll, put this big, gigantic array that blocks the sun out, and it just peers out into the universe and takes a long snapshot, essentially. And they're looking at exoplanets and other solar systems. They're looking for, potential places that could harbor life. They're looking at the origins of the universe,
All of
dark
it.
matter. It's really fascinating. And one of the cool things, like during the pandemic, I remember was watching like the SpaceX launches and all that stuff. It was kind of a cool way for everybody to still come together during a weird time and watch something that was amazing and
be involved in something current and something
right,
that,
and something big
be
and something bigger
recognized
than
ourselves.
each of us ourselves.
Collaborative effort.
Yeah, and everybody who, if you listen to any of the interviews of people who go out into space, they always talk about, looking back at the big blue ball and just going, this puts it into perspective how small all of our individual issues are and how
We're dust.
Yeah, and how big we could be if we come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Yet despite our dust likeness, we can still do a lot of damage.
Dust to dust.
And create a lot of joy too.
Dust can blind.
Dust can blind. Yeah, no. This is not good. You could choke on dust.
Yep, dust can do a lot.
Yeah, that reminds me. Remember when those cinnamon challenges were happening?
You don't know, George. What are you talking
Man,
about?
that trusts me.
It was nutmeg too. They did nutmeg.
No, it was
too.
nutmeg.
Yeah.
At least I could see enjoying the taste of cinnamon. Not that I don't like nutmeg, but like just like in a large quantity like that. I guess because I have a sweet tooth, so the cinnamon feels like it would be okay, but the nutmeg.
A spoonful of nutmeg makes the cinnamon go down.
You guys think Neil deGrasse Tyson is pumped about the telescope? He's probably like...
He's probably choking down some cinnamon right now.
He's probably getting ready to be excited about all the people who'll school on it and inform them and gratefully so. But I thought I've kind of have read throughout the years of as Neil deGrasse Tyson's gotten like more popular, I guess, more sort of in like mainstream. Yeah, definitely. That there's sort of an era of like of like
arrogance.
Yeah, of some sort. Sure. I mean, confidence. How about very strong?
You mean
confidence?
like Elon Musk? I'm sure he wasn't always like this.
Yeah, he wasn't always. But hey, maybe getting taxed 11 bill will humble him a little bit.
Yeah,
huh?
$11 billion.
Just waiting for that second season of Cosmos.
Yeah,
that'll be a good. Oh man, I hope they do that.
Now, wasn't it because that I think you were saying it, Kramer, that he sold some stocks or something, or?
Oh, Elon. Yeah. I think he sold some Tesla stocks to pay for some island. No, I don't know about that, but
yeah, and it wasn't one island. It was at least
island.
four.
It was
or
at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah, 11 billion. Now, off of what amount was like? Did he? What was like the?
It's
like
the capital
gross
gains tax.
Yeah.
If that was the tax, what the hell was the profit?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Holy
Like,
shit.
what was the gross earnings, and then
So capital
whatever
gains
it was, he can't complain about
yeah,
paying
just
$11
good
billion.
math.
I would love to have to pay $11 billion in tax because that fucking profit I'd be making would be astronomical.
Yeah.
So it's. I think it's like I don't want to like fucking do it, but like it's
Do
like
it.
15% is like for a regular person. So it's probably more when it's like billions of dollars. So let's just say it's like 15%.
I thought
You'd have
capital
to,
gains
like-
was lower than that. I thought it was like 12 or 13, wasn't it?
I think it's
Maybe with the
15.
last package, and then
Yeah.
they must have canceled it or something like
Still
that.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on crypto and stuff like that. And
Oh,
those
on
kind of
crypto, it might be
transactions,
less.
Well,
I
all
don't-
of the transactions that happen, that's not really that much if you look at how much money they're making.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, 15%.
That's what I mean. They're making a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah,
and I just wonder what it'll
it's
get
a
used
drop
on.
in the bucket.
Well,
Well, yeah.
I mean, for sure, defense. But surprisingly, didn't we learn that our usage of was it drone strikes has gone down significantly in
Under
Biden's
the
first.
Biden presidency
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Well,
the
that's because
administration.
we pulled out of.
That makes sense,
Afghanistan.
and that
So,
makes
like,
sense.
That's,
But a lot
I mean,
of
that's,
the-
I'm not just saying that's just it, but
No,
like
a lot of
it's,
those things were
yeah.
happening not in Afghanistan; they're happening in other spots. So
Oh, that's
why
true.
it's
yeah.
those are our proxy warfare things that we're doing, like in other countries.
Oh.
It's a trip. I mean, and then look at the news today. We got Putin is calling us out. Did you see that?
No, I actually missed it. Ooh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
it's scary.
he's-
And him and Xi Jinping
All
are
of
they
the
in cahoots?
issues are because the West and NATO are pushing on his front door,
Ugh.
and we're knocking on his front door, and we're being aggressors. So
Mm.
watch the space, everybody.
Yeah, fake news. We're the aggressors. I mean, it just goes to show that.
If you don't,
We're all imperialists.
Yeah, but I mean, some more brazen than others, or at least
Right.
more willing to not have to sort of manufacture a moral guise for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Putin. I mean, is up there. I mean, but hasn't he been sort of and Xi Jinping when China showing a lot of solidarity, sort of on the matter, right?
So yeah, they're linking arms right now.
Yeah, that is definitely scary, and and it's really funny, right? Because I remember that during the presidential campaign, Trump was like, oh, he's kind of touting like Biden's lack of a good relationship with Xi Jinping as like a bad thing, and look at my relationship, so good, and for me it's like, I mean, I get it, have your enemies close, and I mean keep your friends close and enemies closer, but
sure,
I mean maybe in a different way, dear Lord, like why so willing to engage in those same? Why not be a little bit more covert with your amicability?
Right.
You don't know.
It was
I don't know. No, Trump's probably mastermind 4D chess. Geopolitical strategist. Yeah, for 4D chester of the geopolitical nature. That's Trump right there.
I think he's the puppet.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest puppet. I mean, to have so much debt and for me it was like
speaking from the dragon's mouth.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, well, I guess now I see the dragon. Remember, him and Kanye have that dragon energy. I please don't forget, friends, that there's a lot of dragon energy in those type of people, and our feeble minds just can't even fathom the amount of greatness that is conceived just with every breath.
Man,
every
How far that guy's fallen? Have you seen that shit? The latest clip of Kanye?
No.
Begging his wife to come back to him on stage.
That sucks. That's sad.
That's tough.
That is tough.
Kanye's going through some shit.
He's going through some shit, folks.
And I'm trying to remember like where, because I remember I don't keep up with it too much, but I still remember like just being on social media, indirectly sort of like stumbling across, learning about, hey, yeah, it seems like they're having issues and they're not staying together at the same homes or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're at home number 50 and they're at home number 300 or whatever.
Shit.
Yeah, must be.
He's sleeping on the couch in house 32.
Yeah. It's like two kings, like a couch the size of two kings or some shit. But but still, regardless, first world problems are still problems. I mean, at the end of the day, the way a human will receive those hardships if they haven't gone through as much, right. It still feels like a lot. Now, I don't know what Kanye has gone through beside that, so it's not to diminish what he's the hardship in his life prior, but
he's an asshole. I'm gonna diminish it. I'm gonna diminish it right now. Fuck that
diminish
guy.
The fuck out of
him. Fuck that guy.
Fuck him. Well, when he was sort of like doing all that stuff with the Trump and stuff, for me it was just so out of left field. Yeah, it felt disingenuous. Again, but I don't know.
He never got over Obama calling him a jackass on TV. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
A Democratic black president called him a jackass, so he went full Trump because that was the opposite side.
And again, you
after saying that George Bush didn't like black people on fucking national TV. And then keep in mind, all of this is happening after him and his fan base gave Taylor Swift shit for writing songs about, her exes when she was a teenager.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy's on fucking stage whining about his ex.
Yeah.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We should write a song about it.
Would have been a great opportunity for Taylor Swift to just like be ready at, if I were. No, not if I were, but I could imagine a universe where Taylor Swift has so much time that she's just following Kanye at every show and then waiting for that moment to see a lapse in fortitude, of emotional, mental fortitude, and she just shows up. That's great and all. I'm gonna let you finish, but first,
I
am the king of or queen of, I don't know what Taylor said of country.
I'm the new
country
Beyonce.
pop. I'm the new yeah. Oh man! Oh, that reminds me to all the times he would compare himself to like the Beatles and Hendrix and stuff. I was like, oh, hey.
Right. Well, that wasn't a comparison. He said he was the new. I am the new Beatles. I am the new. That's not comparison. That is I am.
We'll see if we're listening to his music in 50 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that some people will be, but I do think that he's vastly overrated. It's just like he had an album's worth of really good songs when we were in like fucking high school, and he's been coasting. He's a great producer, and I'm not gonna discount his career at all, but yeah, I think he's vastly overrated.
Another artist of whom we are not the biggest personal fans, and not of so partial, of great positive partiality towards.
Right.
A very positive
That's the
partiality.
clinical way to
Well
put
said.
it. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Oh man, I mean, yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. Must be rough out there. I mean, you at that level, everything you do is like there for forever. I mean, so easily accessible. And oh, that reminds me of kind of going back to another thing you were talking about with Melania, right? And that like I think that Trump had said something like, oh, getting into the NFTs is like a great way for her to venture into like the things that are important to her, which is like, I forget what it was, but it was probably like making money and then trying to make people feel better or trying to improve their lives. I was like, hey, yeah, that's a real solid attempt.
It's like kind of like she tried to go after bullying but couldn't quite do it with her own husband.
Yeah. Yeah, that fool was the biggest cyber bully, man, to poor old Biden and the poor old caravans that never showed up apparently, and
How are you so toxic you get kicked off Twitter?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess
Be Trump. I mean, what's funny is like Biden is kind of a meme of a president, but it's like wholesome memes in a way. Like
he's just old, and he's like
right.
Old
it's like you go back to the whole. One of my favorite things was when Trump would make fun of Puerto Rico. And he would say Puerto Rico or in Puerto Rico, and then he'd go, no, they've told me the real pronunciation is Puerto Rico. It's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's like
they said it all correctly.
And he would do that every single time. He'd go, Puerto Rico. Oh, sorry, Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico today. Like, you ass.
Yeah. That guy's funny, man. Oh my god.
Total meme.
Yeah, it reminds. Yeah, man, that family's just wild, man. Wow. You even think about Melania's. Remember, I don't care. Do you like? So passive aggressive, like if you have something to say, just
Pretty
say
aggressive. That's not even passive.
I don't know. For me, I mean, for me, it was very on the nose, but still, like it was like she herself was like, well, I mean, they could have easily. I think they were like, what are you talking about? I don't know. That was just a designer outfit kind of thing.
In the words of Melania Trump, who gives a fuck about Christmas?
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck about Christmas trees? Who gives a flying fuck about tinsel? No, she didn't say that, but she said that in so many words, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, hopefully she's living up to her shit and not doing anything
Right.
to tomorrow and Saturday.
Right.
Yep.
Or past that.
Dang.
So we have Diwali has passed and Hanukkah has passed, but we do have Kwanzaa and Christmas coming up and the New Year.
And Box Day, Boxing
Boxer Day. Yeah, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Boxing Day.
I thought it was Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day.
You don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, the 26th, I believe. The 26th. Yeah.
Is that January?
I thought it was December 26th. I thought it was the day after Christmas.
Possibly. It's Canadian, isn't it, or something like that?
I believe so. Yeah. So
whatever you're celebrating out there, have a happy whatever.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourselves. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your community.
It's another challenging year with the pandemic and this holiday time when we're doing the best we can to show our loved ones that we care while still being safe.
Yeah, getting tested, getting vaccinated, boosted. I mean, hey, none of it's ideal. I wish we didn't have to get a COVID, shot and booster, but we're here now, and it's like, we can either just pout about it or work with what we got, and maybe there's room for the two, right? There's room to complain and bitch and to be in our feels, but I think also, as humans, yeah, we have a great ability to do so much with it in a positive light, impacting those around us in such a like beneficial, sustainable light. So let's try to do it, because life's tough anyways, right? Life sucks anyways, so why not try to create some joy along the way? At least make an attempt. That's the most we can do. Shoot
somebody a smile.
Shoot someone a smile.
Amen.
And with that being said, friends, we are here at the completion of our episode 7. Woohoo! So maybe we'll we do an episode hit before the end of the year. I don't know, not sure. But until then, be safe, stay warm, friends. And hey, we never did an introduction. If you're all right, I'll do it real quick. I'm George.
Paul.
Joaquin.
Jesse.
Have a good night. See you next week.
Much love.